shadows fall and spirits howl. Zombies stalk and madmen prowl. Monsters lurk and victims shiver. Thrills and chills they will deliver. Arise from your graves and get in the mood. It's time to join the Spooky Dudes.
Hello, HallowCon.
How's it going, guys?
What is up on this Hallow's Eve?
There you go.
Way easier than it did in my head. So for those of you guys watching, thank you. Appreciate it. 2020 is the 40th anniversary of Friday the 13th, which is a series that's near and dear to both of our hearts.
Oh, yeah.
My name's Corey Keelan. I do a weekly horror podcast with my buddy Eric called Spooky Dudes Podcast. We have a buddy named Jeff. He does a couple of other shows. You want to tell him about your podcast, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm a co-host on two different shows. The first one is the Fistful of Action podcast, where we cover all films action. That's about it on that one. And my other show is the Dead End Grindhouse podcast, where we cover Grindhouse films and have moved a little bit more toward just discussion-based stuff rather than reviews. But those are my two shows.
It's quality listening. I'll vouch for both of them. I've listened to both of them a couple times. Since it is HallowCon, hey, thank you, Facebook user. Appreciate it. Why don't they have a name? Someone help. I want to thank you properly. But yeah, since this is HallowCon, which is one of my favorite local events. Jeff is from Colorado. He is not local.
I'm going to jump in here for just a second to inform you, Corey. One, thank you for being here. I didn't want to interrupt your show, but
No worries.
the Facebook user, you need to go to, if you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, you just got to grant some permissions to them, and they will
Joe,
allow you. Yes.
Joe, I'm the Facebook user, and it's still kicking me out of the shared thing every time I log on to StreamYard.
Come on, StreamYard.
Come on.
What do you
Actually,
mean?
I don't blame StreamYard. My money's on Zuckerberg. Okay.
Yeah.
He owns an island, dude. There's got to be something wrong with him.
So did Gilligan.
Well, yeah. Dumb luck got him there, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I just want to thank you. But I was going to let you know, you are broadcasting on your channel to all your followers.
Sweet. Yes, everybody come watch.
All right, I'm out of here. I've been sitting in this chair since 3 o'clock. I'm gonna take a power nap while you guys chat.
All right, Joe Dog. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, if I can figure out which button to push.
Hello to Ruth. Hello to Chris. Hello to John, who is Facebook user. So, hey, that's Posey. What's up, Funko Pop and Son? Sleeping bag kills are greater than machete kills. We are going to talk about kills tonight. We got a lot of kills to get through. We did a little, what do you call it, kill count before we went live here.
Yeah.
It's substantial. Jason has killed more people on screen in a slasher flick. I'm sure there's some war movie where someone's blown up more people, but
Rambo.
Yeah. But we're talking about Jason. He's the dude here. Anyway, so I was saying, like, this in true HallowCon fashion, I'm not doing this sober. I went by the store, got some Bear Walker. It is a ale brewed with maple syrup from Nashville, Tennessee. Delicious. And I got something else. This is Austin East Cider's Blood Orange Cider. This is the only cider I've drank that I like, so I'm going to stick with it.
Well, there you go.
We've got some comments coming in here. Jason X, greatest movie and franchise, hands down, changed my mind. I can't change your mind. I love Jason X. But it's not the first one. It's not the one that turned 40 years old in this not so great year of 2020. And thank you, everybody that's watching. That means a lot. It's really cool. We have a little visual here. Hopefully that works out. Let's see. But basically, we made a little bit of a slideshow for it. I don't have a video to show this time. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'm going to hide that. So here's the little opening graphic, 40 Years of Terror. And for those of you that don't know, I think how long is there's a lawsuit that's been going on.
Yeah.
And the guy who wrote Friday the 13th, Victor Miller, he sued for rights to the franchise after 35 years because there's some sort of law in the books where if you create a property, you yes, for everybody's seen Scream, right? You can sue after 35 years to try to get your rights back. And so he did, he won. And then Sean Cunningham, who directed the first movie, he countersued. And so it got tied up in court for a while. And part of that court case was that they couldn't make any new Friday the 13th movies, any new Friday the 13th merchandise, or any new Friday the 13th content for the video game, which I know a lot of people play. It's a fun. We're pretty sure that the case is wrapped up, but we can't find definitive evidence of that because they've released a box set this year. They've got new action figures coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So we think that's wrapped up.
Yeah. And, based on what we're kind of reading a little bit earlier, that we think the lawsuit wrapped up around June of this year. Who knows if that got extended because of COVID and all that, or what, but, they started making new announcements around July, so it's very possible that it is over.
Yep. So with that being said, we're going to kind of just go through the series. We're going to talk about different kills, the history of the mask, continuity problems, what's the best and the worst. And because by and large, like for personally speaking, Friday the 13th is my favorite slasher franchise of all time. I love Halloween. I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love Nightmare on Elm Street, but consistently I can watch the Friday the 13th series, even the bad ones.
There's no such thing.
I mean, I can watch them all the time. It's a comfort thing. It's like a comfort. It's junk food. It's delicious
food for the soul.
Yeah, it's chicken soup for the slasher soul. Hopefully this goes forward. Of course it didn't. All right. Click it. All right. So our first film came out in 1980. Obviously, we said it was the 40th anniversary. Friday the 13th, part 1, for lack of a better, it's just Friday the 13th. The conception of this film, essentially, amazing movie. I just recently went back and started. There's Eric. Eric's in here. Dude, Eric is in the house. We're gonna get to that remake too, but this film. Okay, so Sean Cunningham told Victor Miller to write a movie that was a rip-off of Halloween. That is what he told him. I've never heard him dispute that. I don't really think the movies are all that similar, to be honest with you, other than just being slashers, because Friday the 13th is obviously way more visceral. The kills are way over the top, and Halloween is kind of dialed back with the gore and stuff like that. they took out an ad in the Variety magazine that had this picture. It said Friday the 13th, something, they're scared. What did it say, Jeff? Like the worst day of the year, or
Yeah,
nightmare,
something like that.
something like that. The ad generated so much traffic and so much crazy hype that they were like, okay, we're going to make a movie. And then they, Victor Miller wrote it, and it came out and did absolute, blockbuster. We don't have I don't know if we have the money stuff figured out right here and now, but
Yeah, it's something I could grab. So,
but the movie was, was a phenomenon. Betsy Palmer, who played Mrs. Voorhees, has been quoted as saying, I read the script. It was can we curse? Is it okay? It's like 11:15 at night. I assume it's okay if I curse a little. Oh, Joe's back. You're muted, bud.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
all right.
Thank you, Joe. So, Betsy Palmer is like, what a piece of shit this script is. No one's going to watch this. I need a new car. I need money to buy a car. Doing this part of Mrs. Voorhees will pay for that car.
Yeah.
And so she did the movie. And to, much to her surprise, it was like this huge, massive phenomenon, and everybody saw it. And then later in her life, she's passed away at this point. She was doing the horror conventions, meeting fans, and she was like, this is kind of amazing how, what sort of response we're getting here. So,
yeah. And a quick note, real quick, with the budget, it's an estimated $550,000 on the first film. Opened at 5.8 million and grossed 39.75 US. So quite a bit of positive on that.
Yeah, I mean, you've got like I don't remember the Paranormal Activity numbers, but it's got to be something similar. Like Paranormal Activity was shot for $200,000 and then made, like the filmmakers sold it to Paramount, I believe, right?
I think wasn't Blumhouse, was it?
I'm not exactly sure. But the point is, it was shot on a shoestring. It made a mint.
Yeah,
a ton of money. This movie was also a big vehicle for Senior Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
We were talking before this. It was like the biggest thing he did after Animal House.
Yeah.
Well, not the biggest thing he did after Animal House, but shortly after Animal House, this is 2 years later. I think Animal House is 78. He didn't play, I don't think it was like a major role in that. And then he's in this, and everybody's like, this guy is gonna, cool, I got an update ready. I'm not gonna do that in the middle of the panel. So Sean Cunningham directed. Sean Cunningham, before this, he made a couple of kind of like family comedy films.
Yeah.
Some soccer movie, and then a movie about I don't know, orphans doing something fun, or I don't know.
I don't think I've actually seen anything else he's done.
And softcore porn, like he did softcore porn, and then he's like family friendly romps, and then Friday the 13th, and that was like boom. Now I got a ton of money because of Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Tom Savini did the special effects. Tom Savini, I mean, is a household name in my house. I assume that even people that aren't like super giant horror nerds know who Savini is at this point.
Yeah, I'd hope so. I mean, he was after his rise in popularity from this, and he was on like Letterman, and he was doing a lot of stuff. So
that's true.
It also helped. He worked on the George Romero stuff too. So,
quick aside about Tom Savini, Eric just brought it up in the chat. When we were at Days of the Dead one year, I think it might have been the first year we went. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but we were coming up an elevator to where this kind of snack bar area was, and as soon as we get out of this elevator, Tom Savini is just chomping down on this salad at this table, and they got to get hungry. They're sitting there signing autographs for like 6 hours at a time. They got to go eat, but he was just real into that salad. But really, like the staple of Friday the 13th, starting with the first film, was kind of these over the top. So that was our second one. Okay. Oh yeah, because the first one we went on a weird Friday night and it was really quick. You guys should check that one out too. That's a cool horror convention in Atlanta. I don't know if it's going to be back physical next year or what's going to happen, but whatever. But yeah, the staple of Friday the 13th has always been the kills. Malcolm, welcome, dude. The kills, the practical effects, the over the top gore, which is what we've had some entries in the other franchises that have been kind of gory, but Friday the 13th is always, it's almost like you're watching it just to see. It's like Final Destination.
Yeah, how creative can the kills get?
Exactly. Yeah, like you're watching it to see how these people are going to end. But Friday the 13th, like this first one, and honestly, like on this most recent viewing of the film, there's not an unlikable person in the cast.
Yeah, we were talking about that, and I think it even went into the second film as well, saying I didn't mind anybody in that one either.
No, you care about them, and slashers kind of have this sort of it's not a bad rap with me, but like people kind of give slashers the short stick because they're like, it's just stupid. It's a topless girl running through the woods and a dude just killing people you can't stand to see on screen. Some of them are.
Yeah.
Like, this was a legit tense kind of whodunit flick with really excellent gore and awesome makeup effects. John, I'm not sure what that means, man.
Maybe how it was.
I went to some of the other Facebook pages and it kept throwing me up as Facebook user, but when I went to your Facebook page, it threw me up with my name.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
It did the same thing to Malcolm, but I sent him there.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you for that. That's awesome, man. So let's talk about the first film a little bit. What's your favorite kill from this one, Jeff?
I don't know. Probably the obvious. The whole, yeah, yeah.
It's a really cool. That's a really cool effect. I mean, especially for 1980.
Yeah, it really is.
It's not what you think is going to happen. He's in the bunk bed, right? Blood starts dripping on his head. He's just had sex. He's about to smoke a joint. Blood starts dripping on his head, and he's like, huh? And then as soon as that happens, a hand wraps around him, and the arrow, like a hunting arrow, goes right up through his freaking gizzard.
Yeah.
And just shoots blood up in his face and everything.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny about that effect is I think that they had, like a blood tube, and it wasn't working properly. So Savini's partner, Tasso, had to like grab the other end of the tube and just, blow into it. That's why I don't think blood was supposed to shoot up in Kevin Bacon's face and his mouth, but it did.
Yeah. And then just kept it in.
Yeah. I mean, it looked great.
Yeah. It's a cool kill. What's the other one on the archery range is all right. A lot of arrow stuff in this one.
Well, and we talked about that. These are not all at a summer camp. Amber, hey, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I understand that. But thank you for the support and the share. It's much appreciated. And really, the whole slasher film being provocative thing, this one isn't super. I mean, there's some sexuality too, but I don't think this is nothing over the top, overtly sexual or anything like that, really.
No, it's compared to where it gets later on in the franchise, it's pretty tame.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, to start it off, I think it went where it needed to. And, kind of like I was telling you, I had watched something on it, just where how it was shot, where it kind of drew inspiration from. So I mean, it borrowed from, well, not really borrowed, but it, made its own from a lot of classics like Argento stuff, Bava stuff, Hitchcock stuff, the whole killer POV type stuff. So all that's there.
Yeah, you got to steal stuff from Peeping Tom.
Yeah, for sure.
Peeping Tom, to the best of my knowledge, is the first POV killing film. There may be one before that. I don't.
Sounds right. I mean,
I think so.
And then, like you said, Halloween originally, but
and the whole reason for that was like Halloween just made insane amounts of money for the cost. All the movies did.
That's one thing about the horror genre in general. It can make you piles of money on minuscule budgets. It's been proven like time and time again.
Yeah. You do so much with so little. Eric, you are 100%, dude. And then one guy in a t-shirt folded into a diaper for a moment there. We don't stand for any weirdness around here.
The motorcycle cop that doesn't really, just looks like a mechanic that put on a weird helmet.
Oh yeah, dude. The comic relief of the film. Him and Nettie. Ed?
Yeah, I think so. Anytime this comes on, I always try to give it a watch. So it's usually on AMC's Fear Fest or whatever they call it now. And my dad happens to catch. He's like, "God, this movie's so cheesy. What do you watch it for?" It's like, because it's the best. Like, you can't beat it.
Oh yeah. You could show this one to anybody, your mom, your grandma, show it to everybody.
Yeah.
Family Thanksgiving. But what you can't show to everybody is part 2. 1981.
Yeah, hold up. Before we move on, I just wanted to bring up 10 kills total for there were 10 total kills in part 1. I mean, they're not credited to Jason, obviously, but the Voorhees name gets the kills, so there you go.
She was great. She was a great killer. So on to my favorite in the whole series, part 2. This was directed by Steve Miner. You might also recognize Steve Miner from directing Halloween H2O. One of my other personal favorites, Lake Placid. He also, I don't know exactly which role he played in the first movie. I want to say he was assistant director.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And then Cunningham, I don't think Cunningham worked a ton on this movie, but I do think he helped out a little bit with pre-production, and Steve Miner basically got promoted to director.
Yeah.
So in this one, we've got Alice, who survived the first one, and we've got to do away with her, apparently because her agent wanted too much money. So within the first 5 minutes of the movie, she gets an ice pick to the dome, and she's dispatched.
Yeah, waste no time with that one.
Now this one, they decided to bring Jason back. So the whole story of the first one, Jason had drowned, supposedly. He's back, and he's pissed off because mom got killed on the beaches of Crystal Lake.
Those sweet, sweet beaches.
Sweet, sweet beaches. Come on down, have a marg. We're on the beaches of Crystal Lake. Yeah, this one is famous for the sackhead mask, which I personally love.
Yeah.
I think it's very menacing. I'm a big fan of the hockey mask too. Obviously the hockey mask is awesome. But I don't know, man. Something about a deranged hillbilly with a pillowcase over his head and only one eye hole cut into it is just real freaky.
Yeah. Did they is there anything that says about why they chose that mask design?
From what I've gathered from interviews and stuff like that, it's almost like the Myers mask. Like it's just
it was there.
It was there. It's something you could kind of it's just blank.
Yeah.
And I think part of it was because this is something that a hillbilly, child that raised himself in the woods eating squirrel could find and put on his head.
Yeah.
Something he could in theory make. He couldn't make a molded hockey mask. He might find it, but the chances, you know,
Yeah.
the kills, the brutality is ramped up in this one.
Yeah.
We've got Amy Steele, who plays Jenny. Probably of all the final girls in the series, she's my favorite. I think Jenny's awesome. That's why I wanted to include her in the slide. That's just such an iconic image of her holding this pitchfork, waiting for Jason to come in this door of the little cabin. We've got, we like we said before, most of the people in this movie are pretty well liked. Nobody's super annoying. They've all kind of got a personality here. Go ahead, Jeff.
I was going to say, they go in the story in this one, they don't go to the camp to become counselors. They're at the camp as like counselor training or something, right? And so, a few of the people actually have the choice to leave in this one, which is almost different from all the others, where once you're there, you're pretty much dead. Like here, they're like, all right, go if you want to go to the bar in town, like go to the bar in town. I always found that kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like one of those. This is the last night of debauchery before campers arrive, and it just so happens to be the night that Jason comes out and starts just ripping shit. Jason in this film played by a couple of different actors. They had an actor named Warrington Gillette playing Jason at first, and they actually filmed the scene of him bursting through the window unmasked with the. This is really the only film where Jason has really long hair. The remake, I think he has some tufts of hair and stuff, but of the original series.
I was going to say, in Part X, I think he's growing some hair for some reason.
He's got some weird chia growth.
Yeah.
But I think one of the first scenes they filmed was that bursting through the window thing. One other thing, we didn't mention this with the first movie, but kind of a linchpin of the Friday the 13th series is this jump scare at the end. They tried to rip off Carrie in the first one with Jason jumping out of the lake to grab Alice. And it was never meant to lead to a sequel. It was just meant to scare people right before they left the theater.
Yep.
And it did. They went and told their friends, and their friends told their friends. And, the movie was selling like hotcakes. So in this one, they have Jason jump through a glass window. This is an okay jump scare. Something didn't work out with Warrington, though. I've kind of gotten mixed stories about that. He didn't want to perform stunts. He was new to being a stuntman. Some say he wasn't a stuntman at all. So he got booted from the picture, and then Steve Dash took over. So essentially all the scenes where you see Jason in the sack mask is Steve Dash, who he passed away as well not too long ago. But he was a stuntman. There was a famous story from the set when they're shooting the part at the end where Jason comes in the room where the Mrs. Voorhees shrine is, and he goes to attack Jenny, or he bows down like he thinks Jenny's his mom because she's put on the sweater, and she's like, "Mother is very disappointed, Jason," And he bows down, and like he's holding a pickaxe, and so she goes to whack him with a machete, and like she was really swinging a real machete, and she misses the mark and hits his finger. I think it was his middle finger, one of them. So he has to go to the hospital and he said 13 stitches. Ha. But he goes to the hospital with this fake machete in his shoulder. He left the machete appliance hanging out of him, so it looked like he was impaled. And he walks up to the front desk at the hospital and says, "Hey, do you have something for a headache?" And they're freaking out because he's got, this stuff all looks very real, especially for back then. People weren't really aware of what special effect makeup could do. What's my favorite kill from this one, Jeff? I know mine.
Mine is Mark.
Oh yeah, it's got to be Mark.
Yeah, it's for sure Mark, because you mean Mark's a nice guy. Like, you a little bit of sympathy for him, because he's in his wheelchair. But I mean, he's a likable character too. Like he's like jokes around with people. He laughs. He cheers them up. That one girl, him and that one girl, they're really hitting it off. And he goes outside, gets macheted, and not only macheted, it's in the face, and then down some stairs
backwards.
Yeah.
A stunt dude had to go down the stairs. I don't know how many steps. I mean, we're talking like 20 steps.
It's a lot of steps. It's a lot of steps.
Backwards in a wheelchair with a fake machete in his face.
Yeah, that's quite the kill.
So they made a track or something so that it wouldn't flip. Fortunately, that stunt went off without a hitch, I believe. That could have really... You just imagine if something screwed up there, man. You're not going to be doing stunts anymore.
No.
But yeah, it's really cool. If I don't know, the first few movies really give you this kind of cool vibe, classic camp slashers. And this one came out the year I was born, 1981. So that just keeps happening. I like movies that came out the year I was born. All right, are you ready to go into the third dimension?
Ooh, yeah, let's do it.
Oh, I forgot to mention. So, special effects makeup in this one was Carl Fullerton. He did the Jason. Sorry, there's my cheat sheet. He did the Jason makeup without the sack on his head. So, really cool stuff. I don't know. It's a cool look. It doesn't fit in with the rest of the series, but I did think it was worth mentioning him.
Yeah. Oh, and 9 kills is the total we have.
Kill.
Some people say 10, I think, but I think it's 9.
Well, we're going to ramp it up here, I believe. Friday the 13th, part 3. 1 year later. Okay, so we had 1980, 1981, 1982. They found out this series is going to make money, so they're going to pump one out every year like they were doing with Saw for a while. And of course, 82, they're like, hey, man, it's part 3. Why not part 3D? And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first 3D horror film, right? Like this came before Jaws 3D. And I think they were using brand new technology on this film.
Yeah.
And it shows. Jason, so this is, a lot of people just, if they see a hockey mask at a Walgreens or something and it looks like crap, but they're like, it's a Jason mask. You kind of just grow up as assuming Jason masks are these, kind of fake looking hockey masks. But this is the movie where he actually gets it. It didn't start off in one. He didn't come up out of the lake wearing a freaking goalie mask.
He was born with the mask.
I didn't find the mask. The mask found me. This one directed by Steve Miner as well. So Steve Miner is the only director to do 2 different Friday the 13th movies.
Yes.
I would say that the 3D portion of this film, like this 3D stuff with Jason is pretty cool. The 3D gags without Jason are kind of pretty lame. Like yo-yo in your face and somebody sticking a joint to the camera. And, it's kitschy. Richard Brooker played Jason in this one. Also a stuntman. He did a lot of like acrobatic. What do you call the thing you swing from in the circus? Trapeze.
Yep.
He's like a trapeze artist, which is crazy. Everyone tried to grab the joint. Yeah, it wouldn't come out of my TV, man.
Came out of mine over here in Colorado.
Oh yeah, Colorado is totally legal, so you can. Richard Brooker unfortunately also passed away. We didn't mention in the last one that Steve Dash has passed away. Or maybe
yeah, you did. You brought it up.
I met both of them. Steve Dash was an absolute sweetheart. Richard Brooker, it was kind of like a hey, thanks, see ya, kind of deal. It was fine. He wasn't rude, but didn't have a lot to say. So this one literally takes place immediately after the events of part 2. Jason gets up off the ground, goes and finds some new clothes. Somehow in the mix, he shaves his head. Well, actually, if you take the real canon storyline, then that jump through the window thing never happened, right? So we never saw Jason unmasked in part 2.
Yeah.
That's dream sequence stuff. So they changed the look up. I think the first makeup was sculpted by Stan Winston, and he wasn't going to wear a mask at all. Like, he was just going to be this big brooding, guy. And the company said he looks too much like a monster. They didn't want him to look like a monster. So they decided, go ahead, Jeff.
I was just going to say, hearing that, from it was just going to be a maskless monster guy. And based on, Jason and, where he's from and the whole thing, I kind of get the like hills have eyes, that or, wrong turn type character.
Yeah, definitely. That was so. And from what I've gathered, there's a lot of people that want to take credit for the hockey mask idea. It's not exactly clear where it came from. A lot of people on set were like, what are we going to do with his face? And then apparently there were some hockey players there or something. And somebody said, let's throw a hockey mask on his face. And so one of the characters in the movie, Shelley, is played by an actor named Larry Zerner, who's actually an entertainment lawyer now, ironically enough. And he knows a lot about the Friday the 13th lawsuit. His character has this box of crap. So like he has
props.
His
Carrot Top box.
The absolute worst line from that entire movie. Just every time I hear this line, I almost want to turn the movie off. But there's a lot of gems there too. When he's in the van sitting next to Vera.
Yeah, I think.
Malcolm. What's up, buddy? I love Freddy versus Jason. We're gonna get there too. It's part of the thing, man.
We'll get there.
No shame. This is a learning experience right here. Learning with the spooky dudes and Jeff. So yeah, he's sitting there talking to Vera, who's this attractive girl, and Shelley is not what you'd call a classically attractive man. They're sort of set up by their friends to go as a dating couple on this camping trip. And he says something like, she says something like, what's in that box? And he's like, my whole world.
Yeah, he does. Yes.
He goes, in that little thing? He goes, stick around. You'll see. Oh, every time I see a line like that, I shrivel up a little inside. I don't know, guys. I don't like that line.
So, with Shelley, I think I had listened to a podcast with him on there. I don't remember what. Anyway, so he wasn't cast the way like most of the other cast members were, right? I think they had find him off the street. Basically, they said, "Hey, you fit the profile of a guy of a character we want to put in this movie. So come on in."
They said they wanted an overweight, unattractive, quirky looking dude or something like that. Yeah, I'm not making a judgment call. I'm just saying they said something to that effect.
Yeah. That's his story too. I mean, he sticks with it too, just as much as anybody else. But
for better or worse, we've got Shelley, and for some reason, he had that mask in this box that included his whole world. Stick around, you'll see. Howard, what's up, dude? I've seen part 1 and Jason X and Jason in New York and Freddy versus Jason. All right, man, we gotta get you caught up too, man. We gotta get you to help him do the old marathon here. At some point, Shelley is actually wearing the hockey mask. He comes up to scare Vera because he thinks if he scares this girl, she's gonna like him. It's the dumbest plot device ever. Like, why? If I wanted to go boogity boogity and scare my wife all the time, there's no way I'd have a wife. You know what I'm saying? It's just silly.
Yeah.
But Jason dispatches him off screen gets the hockey mask, and it's a cool look. I mean, you can see in the picture here, Jason's real, kind of hunched up. He's got a big set of shoulders. He moves quickly in these early movies. You'll see that too. Like this later Friday the 13th thing with like Kane Hodder just walking and just never being very quick. Jason was very kind of agile during the early films.
Yeah.
Um,
And another quick thing, real quick. I know we had mentioned it before with the other two films, the likability of the characters.
yeah.
I just wanted to bring it up. Shelley, I do like Shelley as a character, but he does get annoying at times. And some of the other characters, like like fake Cheech and Chong type
Oh my
characters?
God, the male and female Cheech and Chong.
Yeah.
Yeah, this couple, there's no reason for them to be there other than to smoke pot and get killed.
What was the whole thing with them eating all the pot in the van because they're going to the barn or the cabin or whatever, and they think a cop's gonna get them, so they're like, eat it all.
Yeah, they get blue lit from behind. This cop car rolls up, blue lights flash. They eat like I don't know how much
bags
weed.
and bags.
Just tons of weed, and then the cop just pulls around them, and the cop's responding to the crime scene that Jason's already committed. Like the first thing he does in this movie when he goes to collect his clothes is he kills this couple that runs a general store.
Yeah.
And the cops are going to respond to that crime scene. Kids don't know that. They're just going to the cabin to, screw and smoke pot or whatever. Which most of them don't seem like they're there to screw and smoke pot, but a couple of them are.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up a trope from this one.
Go for it.
I like the character played by Tracy Savage in this. I cannot remember the character name, but there's this weird thing they do in some horror films where they say that a female that's going to be a victim of one of these killers is pregnant.
Oh yeah.
And this girl does not look, I mean, she was 10 minutes pregnant into this movie or something, because she doesn't look pregnant at all. But they make a point of saying this. And then of course she gets killed at some point.
Yeah.
I guess that's supposed to up the ante, but really by the time it happens, you forget anyway.
Debbie.
Yeah. She went on to be a newscaster or something.
Yeah.
Really good. I like her. There's also a motorcycle gang in this movie.
Yes. Man, they're
basically pointless.
Yeah, unnecessarily mean. Shelley and his date go to like a convenience store, general store, and somehow Shelley's wallet gets tossed on the floor, and then they pick it up, and from there it's kind of standoffish, and they have him in like a headlock, and they want to, what's her name is fighting to get the wallet back, kind of back into the car, the motorcycles, and that guy like punches out a window with a chain, like no need for it, but it's all there.
Yeah, don't forget Shelley had to throw that wallet at the camera.
Yeah, he did
so many times to actually hit it, because the 3D doesn't work unless you hit a very specific part. Like, whoa. Anyway, that's part 3. I really like Rooker's performance. What's your favorite kill from this one?
Before we do that, I'll do this first. 12 kills total.
We're almost there. We're almost to 13.
We're almost there. Yeah. I'd probably say the 3D harpoon gun.
In the Vera. Yeah. Really good.
If you don't watch it in 3D,
yeah,
it's interesting, like a lot of stuff. But it's for what it is in 82, and like we were saying, the new technology, it looks pretty cool.
The head squeezing eyeball pop out's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's a good one. Who did that happen to?
Hey, that's Matt. Who the hell's Matt? Is that Matt Isaac?
I don't know.
I think it is. What's up, dude?
To be fair, motorcycle gangs are known to be dicks back in the day.
Watching behind the scenes interviews with those 3 that are in the motorcycle gang, though, they're all such sweethearts. Like,
yeah.
They're like, yeah, we aren't like this at all. Yeah. Thank you for coming, dude.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys. Now we're gonna move on to literally the next day, like because it's first bunch of movies happen in the same 24 36 hour period, something like that.
Yeah, he didn't play around, dude. They're busy.
Jason gets up and gets shit done. What? I did not know that. No.
Who, motorcycle gangs?
I don't know, man. So part 4, fun flick called Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Bullshit. Came out in 1984. So we got 80, 81, 82. We skip 83. And then we go to 84. A lot of hardcore fans of the series say this is it. This is the end all be all. This is the greatest Friday the 13th. I'm inclined, it's not my favorite, but it may be the best put together one.
I think so, yeah. There's a few little things that are kind of strange, but
it does have some weird stuff. Like there's a character named Rob who is going to oh man, that is way too serious for Friday the 13th panel, bro. We are not true criming here. This one has a character named Rob who is trying to avenge the death of a character who died in part 2, Sandra, his sister.
yeah.
And part 2 happened like a day or two before this movie. So how the F does he know that quickly? There's no internet, guys. This is 1984. He knows where to go and that his sister's dead that quickly.
Yeah.
It's one of the weirdest plot points in the series.
You dead fuck.
Important to mention this too. Crispin Glover, really standout performance in this movie.
Oh yeah.
He is very memorable. You guys know Crispin Glover. He is George McFly. He's Willard.
Willard, yeah.
He's the weird bad guy in the first Charlie's Angels, I think.
Yeah.
You
that
know
sounds right.
Glover. He's a nutcase, but man, he's great in this movie.
Would you like to dance?
I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna fall over. I'm drinking way too much beer to be.
But yeah, like, so I mean, it's that group going up to the cabin at the lake or whatever, you know. It's not even so much about Camp Crystal Lake anymore. It's just a lake at this point. Jason automatically spawns at lakes, you know, or wherever he wants, really.
Way out of the water. It's either Jaws or Jason. You're screwed.
Exactly. Yeah, Malcolm. Crispin Glover does rock. But you know, it's them going up there. Also meeting we meet a family, the mom, the daughter, and the son.
A very important family.
Oh yeah, yes. The Jarvis family?
Jarvis.
Yeah. We get Tommy, his sister, Mrs. Jarvis. But Tommy,
call me Mrs.
Tommy is played by Corey Feldman. So with with Feldman and Glover in this, you can't really beat it. But yeah, they're there, and Savini came back on this one to do effects, correct?
Correct.
So, and we not only do we get to see some cool effects, we get to see some cool masks that he made that Tommy claims he made. You know, he's like, and they bring that guy in the house, and he's like, rah, rah, with his puppet.
Well, Tommy did make those masks. Tommy Savini.
Oh yeah, he did.
Why is his name Tommy Jarvis, by the way?
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
The whole plot behind that, like Tom Savini and Sean Cunningham kind of scoffed at doing a sequel, period. They're like, Jason's dead. He drowned. Yada, yada, whatever. But Tom Savini created that look of Jason jumping out of the lake. And I think there's a short, really quick flashback of him drowning or a picture or something. Anyway, his idea was, I created Jason. I get to be the one to kill Jason, because that's the whole point of this movie is Jason dies.
Yeah.
Jason's gonna die in this movie. You can see it in the picture. He's got a freaking buck knife stabbing in his hockey mask right there. Savini, so he came back because Joe Zito also directed this movie. Joe Zito did The Prowler, and which was in 1981. Actually came out on my birthday. It came out the same day I did.
It's a little more mean-spirited of a film.
It's pretty mean-spirited. It's not as good as this.
No, but it is good.
It is good. Great effects. Savini's effects are top notch. But
Oh, yeah.
I think Joe Zito directing this really had a lot to do with Savini coming back to do it. Yeah, dude, it's a very strange chart we had to draw on the wall behind me here to map all this Friday the 13th out. Essentially in this one, Tommy Jarvis is the one who ultimately, and we're doing spoilers, guys. I know some of you guys haven't seen these things, but they're very old and we're kind of just celebrating the anniversary anyway. Tommy Jarvis is the one to kill Jason, and he gets killed in a most spectacular fashion because Savini, he wasn't just going to let him like get shot or something, right?
Yeah. How many times do you think he says die when he's
die? I don't know, man, but Feldman, he's an interesting dude. He's a very, I would say later in life, he's become as interesting as Crispin Glover.
Yes. He just became Crispin Glover.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. The ending of this film's great. What about kills, man? What's your favorite kill in this one?
So we have, without Jason, 13 kills in this film.
There you go. There's your 13.
With Jason, 14. So the kill count has gone up each film. Hey, if we spoil them, it's more incentive for you. Then we did our job.
They did a study, and some people actually prefer watching movies that have been spoiled over movies that they go into raw. It was a majority of people that preferred going into movies that were spoiled.
It's like reading the book before you see the film.
Could be, or you're not jostled by it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like sleepaway camp, you're not freaked out by the hanging dong at the end. You're anyway. Go ahead.
Right. He said KFW says the dog killing itself by jumping out of the window was his most memorable kill. But for me, Crispin Glover. Hey, where's the bottle opener?
Dad, where the hell's the corkscrew?
Gets it through the hand. Then he gets what is it? Not a machete, but like a giant butcher knife,
like a meat cleaver to the
cleaver. Yeah, and it hits him hard. It hits him hard.
They shot that in reverse. They had it's the same trick that he used in like Dawn of the Dead for the machete in the head.
Yeah,
you get the cut out of the blade and you put it on the face, and then you pull it back and then reverse the film.
Yeah.
But I mean, Crispin Glover's acting on that scene makes it look like he's getting,
Oh yeah,
he's on another level, man. I think he exists in a plane slightly above the rest of us humans.
Yeah. What's your kill on this one?
I really like the spear gun to the dick. No, that's a pretty good one. But yeah, I mean, Crispin Glover's great. The Teddy kill while they're watching the stag film through the projector screen is nice. I don't know, man. It's just a quality movie. Like, this is the Friday the 13th. If you just need to see, like, if you want to see a movie that's like the best of it and like the most comprehensive film of what Friday the 13th is all about, this is the one.
Oh, another memorable one. I believe it's this one. It's the dude walking on his the handstand guy, right? Is that the one you're talking about? That's 3. Oh man,
he gets cut through the groin. Yeah, he gets pretty gnarly fight in 3. Man, he gets cut in half and hung up in the rafters. That's the thing about, like, Jason and Michael Myers put the bodies of their victims in weird ass places. They just pop out
I'm gonna put this here for later.
Yeah, I just know it's gonna fall down and go boogity boogity when you're just sitting there reading the latest copy of Fangoria
Fangoria.
in a hammock. Has to be Jason Hunter in the basement. Oh my god, he's killing me! He's killing me. So I watched an interview with them talking about that kill because it's not graphic. It's for whatever reason they didn't want it to be graphic because they wanted it to be more serious. But it comes off as kind of ridiculous when you're screaming, "He's killing me! He's killing me!" Yeah, he's killing you. He's Jason, bro. We've seen like 3 movies before.
Was it 2 where the critic or not critics, but like rating boards and stuff started cutting the films, like taking out some of the blood and stuff?
2 got cut up pretty good. They cut out a little bit of 1, but I don't know if it was the rating board or they cut it out because it made the effects a little more a little easier to tell that there were effects.
Yeah,
not much was cut out of part 1. 2, they cut some out. Yeah. They cut this one up too. This slash scenes still exist out there though. We're gonna get to the one that they cut the worst pretty soon. All right, ready to move along?
Yeah,
Jason,
I think we got it.
Jason is dead.
There he is, though.
Who had a cut because the girl was underage?
Oh.
Huh. That I did not find in my research. So Friday the 13th, part 5, A New Beginning. Yeah, we're gonna get to that one, Matt. This one came out in 85. This so Jason's dead. What are we gonna do? We're gonna have a flashback with Corey Feldman because we can only afford him because he needs to go shoot the Goonies.
Yeah,
we can afford to shoot a dream sequence in his backyard.
His neighbor's backyard.
Neighbor's backyard.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting.
That is a cool scene too, man. This movie by far has the most different Jason masks of any of this series, or different hockey masks, I should say. This has got even more than X. Like X has the Uber Jason and the kind of snout.
Yeah.
Jason mask. This one, it's all kinds of shit going on here. This one, directed by Danny Steinman. I think he most famously did this and Savage Streets. Also directed some pornography before this film, which, fun fact, if you watch Crystal Lake Memories, they talk about him directing the love scene that takes place in the woods. And apparently he was incredibly graphic and instructive of what to do.
Almost like he's done it before.
Yeah. You have to watch that. I'm not saying those things live on video. But basically what happens in this is Tommy Jarvis he's been locked up, kind of
institutionalized as a youth.
Because he killed Jason. It was very traumatic. His mom died off camera. His sister didn't die though, right? Like Trish survived, didn't she?
Yeah, but never came back. I don't think in the series. She's just like, all right, I'm good. I'll see you later.
Like, the hell with this. It was raining a lot when they filmed part 4. So he is moved to kind of this sort of low security facility.
Looks like a halfway house.
Yeah, where basically people with mental or emotional issues can do like work and socialize and kind of get better at their own pace. But it's also strange because they let them operate heavy machinery and wield axes. Basically what happens once Tommy arrives, there's a character named Vic who is chopping wood. And then there's a character, and Vic is also played by, I cannot remember the actor's name, but he's in Return of the Living Dead as well. There's a character named Suicide.
Let's see here.
But essentially he is chopping wood for some odd reason. And the other character named, oh god, now I'm losing the
Mark Venturini plays Victor.
Yep, that's it. Now who's the character that puts the chocolate bar down? what's his name again? It's Dominic Brasha is the actor's name.
Dominic
Joey.
Brasha.
So there's a character named Joey. Put the candy bar down, and Vic chops him up. And then just chops Joey up to pieces.
I blame the girls that wouldn't let him help fold sheets.
Well, Violet just wanted to listen to her, new age techno music. And I don't know what the other girl wanted to do. She still wanted his damn chocolate fingers all over the sheets.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, but then it all starts because of that damn chocolate bar.
Yeah. This one is more of a whodunit as well, because we know Jason's dead. Tommy keeps seeing visions of Jason, though. He was covered in chocolate. Matt, you should go back and listen. There's a Vitamin Geek episode where me and Eric interviewed Dominic Brasha. He was an interesting dude. He also passed away. Rest in peace, sir. Very weird interview we did with Dominic Brasha. I'll share that with you later. Strange dude. But anyway, one of the ambulance drivers is very, very upset with this. And all of a sudden, killings start commencing all around this place, like the diner next to the halfway house. Kids,
two random greasers, like in a field.
Oh yeah, boop bop loody, you Rudy doody doody.
Bebop greasers.
Big fucking God.
Rewatching it this last time and seeing that, I was like, why were those dudes in this? Like, they make even less sense than
more kills.
Yeah.
One of them gets killed with a road flare too. Road flare into the mouth.
Oh yeah, brutal.
When's the last time you saw road flare fellatio kill a human being? Friday the 13th, part 5. That's the answer.
Yeah.
This one is very, very gory. This is kind of the sleazy. This is kind of regarded as the sleaziest entry in the series.
Yeah, it does, and it does take a turn at this point because a lot of them kind of follow suit. Language, violence, sexual stuff, all that.
The F words. Way more F words than the other films in the series.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Matt. I didn't really think about it that way, but yeah. Even though in this case it's weird because part 1, Mrs. Voorhees obviously cares so much for Jason. This one, Roy cares so much for Joey that he abandoned him and completely went and lived his life without the child. And let him get chopped over a chocolate bar. It's hanging by a thread, but yes, I agree with that. Yeah, very brutal. There's a ton of nudity in this one. Like,
yep.
There's nudity in every Friday the 13th film, I think. But this one, it's like, here you go. Here's an example. Okay, so there's a character, there's 2 characters that keep sneaking off and having sex.
Yeah.
The girl is played by a girl named Debbie Sue Voorhees, which is because Jason Voorhees, but she was a Playboy Playmate. She's apparently, so Darcy DeMoss, who's in part 6, we haven't gotten to part 6 yet, but she plays the girl whose face goes through the side of the RV.
Mm-hmm.
She was supposed to play that character, and then the director asked her to take her top off, and she said, I don't mind nudity, it's fine, but you need to clear that with my agent before I get to the
set
interview or whatever. That's kind of weird just to be like, pop your top, So apparently the next day they had already cast Debbie Sue Voorhees.
If you won't do it, somebody will.
Well, apparently. But, so apparently the most edited thing about this movie, because a lot of the kills are very gory, was a sex scene. The one where he was directing it and he was saying these, I'll let you guys go find the interview where they talk about what he was actually saying. But the sex scene is like they show up, they get naked, some dude is in the woods watching them for half a second, he gets stabbed, and then the sex scene's over, and the guy's like, I'm gonna go wash up in the nearest creek, which is also kind of strange, right?
Yeah,
a little bit funky. Super memorable kills in this one, I think. I love the blue triangle hockey mask. Let's see. There's the blue triangle hockey mask. There's the hockey mask at the beginning that's in the grave that's kind of got the paint washed off of it. There's the flashback hockey mask that Jason is wearing toward the end. I believe that one, when he visits Tommy in the hospital, is actually the part 3 and 4 hockey mask. I think that's a surviving mask from the previous movies.
I think so.
Yeah. And that fun fact about that mask, at one point, I don't know if he still owns it. I doubt it. Dick Warlock, that played Michael Myers in part 2, owned that mask and lived in Tennessee.
Yeah, that's my pick.
Tennessee. Yeah, the belt around the eyes is super cool.
Yeah. Just torquing that.
For anybody listening, like if you're listening to this later and not watching it, this guy backs up to a tree and gets a strap wrapped around right around his eyeballs, and they the killer twists a piece of wood and torques it so bad that it just shoots blood out of his eyes. Apparently they filmed that scene very, like, way more gory than it is in the movie, and then that bought them some goodwill with
When
the
they got it.
MPAA. Yeah, they edited that scene back to have more nudity.
Yeah, I could see like films doing that, like we'll
I-
overdo this so we could get some on the back end on this other part.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and if you go back, and I don't want to sound like super misogynistic, I think that Danny Steinman told every female in this movie not to wear a bra. I don't think there's a single bra worn in this movie. From the gal that works in the diner who says, "It's showtime,"
For no reason.
yeah, to the, oh my gosh, one of the kind of
Or
counselors.
he's just laying in the field after
Yeah.
topless.
Yeah, and the lady who's like the assistant director of the halfway house, at the end of the movie, it starts raining and she's wearing a white button-up shirt
Yeah.
with no bra. She said, though, in an interview, that she was thankful for that because she said that's the only time she looks good in the movie. Okay. Anyway, Friday 13th Part 5. What's our kill count?
20 without the killer. We already spoiled who the killer is, right?
Kinda.
All right, 20 without the killer, 21 with the killer. But we can't talk about the wallet with the picture if we don't talk about, because that's the most important part.
It's true. Okay, so the killer is one of the ambulance drivers. He gets very upset when he sees Joey chopped up. It's Roy.
It's Roy.
At the hospital at the end of the movie, the sheriff does this complete stupid info dump. I mean, he dumps every bit of info you need for this movie. He says, "We found Roy's wallet. He had this news clippings of Jason Voorhees." Like, there's a picture in a newspaper of Jason Voorhees, like a still from the movie where he's like, whatever.
Like that nobody would have took because there was no cameraman following Jason around.
Exactly. And a picture of himself.
Right. So Roy, the first thing in the wallet is a picture of himself, then his son, and then the clippings of Jason where money would go in the like fold out part, It's just such a goofy thing, all that. And then it's like, look what we found. It's just himself. It's great.
It's real weird, but it's a fun watch. This is a fun movie. I enjoy trash cinema very, very much. Grindhouse-y movies. So this one's right up my alley. It's fun.
Yeah.
Let's move along.
This one, before we do, this one, does get kind of like crapped on by a lot of people. Like it's not him, and it's not that. But like you're saying with the grindhouse elements of like the brutality, all the other stuff, I do like this one, and more that you watch it, I think you appreciate it more. And the kill count is just jacked up compared to like the others.
Yeah. Matt also said, let's just talk about what would happen if 21 people were murdered in anyone's hometown at the same time. I don't know, bro. I hope we never find out around, here, anywhere really. So, yeah, it suffers from that Halloween 3 Season of the Witch problem. No Michael Myers, no Jason Voorhees. Got to bring him back. And he's back. The man behind the mask. That's what Alice Cooper sang about this movie on the soundtrack. That's in the movie. So this one, directed by Tom McLaughlin, he wanted to do something a little different. They wanted Jason to come back. They're like, Jason's got to come back. This Friday the 13th Part 5 shit, it made a ton of money. It still made money. But a sequel tends to make more money based off of the predecessor, right? So in this one, they're like, it's got to be called Friday the 13th, and it's got to have the word Jason in it. Like, Jason is here. We swear to God this time. This is a fun movie. This may be the most of all of them, that may be the most fun entry in the franchise. Tom McLaughlin didn't want to do another. Oh yeah. Like Matt just said, this movie starts off with a James Bond homage, where Jason is walking through this like kind of camera lens, and he slashes the screen and blood shoots out instead of shooting the Walther PBK. Yeah, dude. Just start to finish, Tom McLaughlin didn't really want to do another Friday the 13th because he's like, let's burn out, man. This franchise has been going, downhill since that fifth one.
That last one,
yeah. But what he did like was like the Universal horror movies. And so he came up with the idea of bringing Jason back to life via lightning, kind of like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And so Tommy, this is our third Tommy actor, by the way. We didn't mention that. Part 4, we had Corey Feldman as Tommy Jarvis. Part 5, we had John Shepard as Tommy Jarvis. Part 6, we have Tom Matthews as Tommy Jarvis. And Tom Matthews was also in Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
So he goes to the graveyard where Jason is buried with Rorschach from, or no, not Rorschach, Horshack from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Yeah.
He gets pissed off once they dig him up, and he grabs the nearest, wrought iron, rod, and shoves, starts stabbing Jason and going back into the die. I think it even plays the Corey Feldman
over it.
Yeah. And he stabs him in the heart, and then lightning strikes it and brings Jason back to life. Which we know Jason was dead, because if you look at Jason all wrinkled up and shriveled, there was not much left.
No, he did.
Wait, what did I say? Tom Matthews?
That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, didn't I say that?
I thought so.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, okay. I know what he's saying. I was like, did I say it wrong? So Jason comes back. He's reanimated as this. This is him back from the dead. Okay, he was alive before this. Depending on who you talk to, he drowned in the first one, or he survived and saw his mom killed from another shore. I prefer to think that he somehow survived. He washed up and was alive until part 4. Then he got killed, and then he came back to life in part 6. Yeah, Tommy. Yeah, he meant well, though. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, my friend. This one is just super fun, man. It's actually, no. Does this one have? I don't think this one actually has nudity in it.
I don't think. If anything, it's something brief.
This may be the one exception, because there's one sex scene in it. It's Darcy DeMoss and the guy in the RV.
Oh yeah, and they're having sex to the song, and she's like, he's like, how much longer? She's like, a little bit more, about 9 minutes.
Yeah, he's like, hold out till the end of the song. He's like, how much longer? 9-10 minutes. He's like, eh. Jason, played by C.J. Graham in this one. He's just a hulking beast of a dude, just a big old swole guy. Fun kills in this one, man. What do you think? What's your favorite in this one?
These are paintballs in this one, right?
Yeah.
I
think that's the most kills with one swipe he's ever gotten in the franchise.
Yeah, probably that.
There's some like office workers having a paintball match out in the woods.
Very weird.
3 of them walk up, and Jason just whacks 3 of the heads off all at once. Really cool scene. It's fun. It's
a weird addition.
Yeah.
But just they the kill count in 5 was so high that they were like, well, how are we going to get a few more kills in here? Just throw these random people out in the woods. But every one of the films have some random people that just get killed like for no reason.
Yeah. Well, and I think the note that they gave Tom McLaughlin was be as funny as you want. Don't make fun of Jason.
Yeah. Make him more serious.
The Jason stuff's all pretty serious, man. I really like the kill. It's also during the paintball part, but where the guy that has the machete, for some reason they're playing paintball, and one of the guys who's been shot already has a machete. And he's just whacking the woods down and just pissed off because he got shot by a girl, by a lake, because he's, some asshole. Anyway, but Jason rips his arm off and sends him flying into this tree, and his face smashes into a smiley face carved into the tree and gets all bloody. And then holding the arm and the machete, like, huh?
Yeah, that's a good one. Total kills in this one was 18.
Yeah, man, this is a good one. It's a fun one. There's some deaths of people you don't want to die in it, but it's a lot of fun.
The sheriff's daughters, I like her character or whatever.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah. And it does wrap up the Tommy Jarvis trilogy.
Yep. Which we've got some fan films now that are bringing Tommy back, but those are not necessarily, those are not Friday the 13th canon, so we're not going to talk about those tonight. All right, number 7, The New Blood from 1988. This is a real interesting movie, okay? First off, because John Carl Buechler directed it, and he was a special effects guru as well as a film director. So I would say of all the looks of Jason we get, this one is by far the most interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much there. He wanted to capture every single scratch, every bullet wound, everything that had ever happened to Jason. And I mean, as far as I can tell, he did.
Yeah.
Also, maybe even more importantly than that, this is the first film we get where Kane Hodder plays Jason.
Yes.
The first of 4. Kane Hodder is the only actor to play Jason multiple times. Well, actually, it's not true. Kind of true. He's the first actor to be the main Jason multiple times.
Right.
We've got, and another interesting part of this is the lady in the picture, Tina. She is a, what do you call it? Like a telekinetic.
She's Carrie for.
Yeah. they ripped off Carrie again. Here you go. Not only is Carrie ripped off for the jump scare, but now Carrie's ripped off for psionic ability.
She's an X-Men.
Yeah, she can move stuff with her mind. And so really what you get is a cool battle. We've never seen Jason have a super, like an actual mano-a-mano battle, right? This is the closest thing we ever got to that.
We'll talk about it in the next film.
Yeah, until later. But I don't know, man. Yeah, so this one, this is Matt's personal favorite, by the way. Just found that out in the chat.
There we go.
So I just rewatched this one too, and my opinion of it went slightly down.
I'm with you.
It was butchered by the MPAA. They took so much out of this film, and I think it's really to the detriment of the movie because bad news, Dr. Cruz. So freaking Bernie from A Weekend at Bernie's is the psychotherapist in this movie. Dr. Cruz. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
He's not great. He's basically taking Tina out there to like upset her to get her to move shit with her mind.
He's just exploiting her.
And he's a bad dude. My problem with the movie, and I don't want to harp too negatively on it because this movie's cool. There's a lot of really great things here. The MPAA butchered it, taking out tons and tons of the extra death scenes. But I really think that once it's Tina versus Jason and she's finally got that grasp on her powers, then the movie becomes like amazing. It goes from like okay to like amazing in that span of time. And you get to see Jason's mask break.
Yeah.
Just being pissed off. Jason doesn't always seem pissed off. He's always killing stuff. But this Jason is pissed. He's doing this.
Yeah, Kane Hodder talked about that in his documentary. He's like, that's how I brought Jason to life. I did the whole like shrug thing, and I was like, oh, you got it, Kane. You did it.
He definitely emoted and did more with the character than other actors have.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. All right, Jeff, I'm going to turn the wheels over to you completely for a minute because I have to take a quick break.
All right.
All right, I'll be right back.
All righty. So, I mean, in this film here, we get 17 kills.
Okay, I'm going to jump in to sort of help you along. I'll be honest with you, I don't know anything about it, so keep going.
So
I'm just sort of
have you seen this one, Joe?
I've not. I saw the first one.
The first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's gone a long way since the first one compared to this one. But I mean, the part 7, 17 or 16 kills, like I said. I wouldn't say any more are more memorable than the rest. Yeah. So I think that was kind of interesting. The one that always stuck out with me, well, there's two, because the couple that are in the RV, or no, is that I don't know. Anyway, but the people in this one, the teenagers in quotation marks, aren't they're not as likable in this one. They've really kind of gone downhill for me in it. I don't know. There's like the whole, they're having a birthday party get together for one of them that doesn't even make it there, I don't think. And they're just kind of mean. They're mean to our main character. And I don't, they really make her out to be the victim. Dr. Cruz is kind of like, he's pushing her, trying to get these like psychic abilities out of her. She goes to the party. All the people make fun of her. I think one girl even puts on like a fake straight jacket to like make fun of her, kind of saying that she was like crazy, but really, it's just interesting, I thought. And like I was saying, it's so far in the film, these are the most unlikable people for me as a group.
Yeah. I see Corey is back. Corey, I understand what you did, because right now we just crossed 9 hours and 25 minutes. So I understand, and guess what? It's my turn. All right. I'll let y'all get back to it. Y'all still got roughly 30 minutes.
All righty.
Cool. We got it.
All right.
All
Bye.
All right.
Yeah, guys, apologies for that. I got three empty soldiers here. I'm working on. Hey man, it's HallowCon. I can't hold it too long, man. But yeah,
we pretty much kind of wrapped on it. I was just saying, just the characters overall seem the most unlikable to me so far in the franchise.
For sure, except for the main guy. Oh my gosh, the kind of love interest.
Yeah, the guy that she like falls in love with on first sight.
Yeah, they said they wanted to make a sequel. They thought about making a sequel after this. Like, there's a scene that was deleted where Jason hops out of the lake and kills a fisherman, and they wanted to make a sequel where Tina's in a psych ward, and Jason somehow figures out where she is, and like goes and kills nurses and stuff at the psych ward. And I was kind of like, yeah, all right. I don't know. The battle between those two though, super dope.
Now you've broken the seal. Oh yeah, she did.
She did. Yeah.
I was gonna say that's probably one of the more memorable kills too.
Well, that's one of the scenes too that they were gonna bring him back. He was gonna come back out of the damn lake and like live or something. It didn't.
It's very strange.
Bro, he did.
But yeah. But I think, as far as part 7, like I said, 16 kills, pretty unlikable characters. Carrie versus Jason type story. It's a fun one. It could have been better, like you said earlier, but I think that, it kind of covers it there.
Lar Park Lincoln as Tina's good. I thought she was great.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
actually super sweet if you get the chance to meet her in person too.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a trip to New York. Oh man. So this is by far my least favorite Friday the 13th movie. This is our second outing with Kane Hodder, which is cool. Thank you, Kane. He's also a sweetheart. Not allowed to choke people anymore. Fun fact. It used to be the convention thing is to get choked by Kane and get your picture taken because he choked the shit out of you. I've been choked by him at least 3 times. and it's never soft. It's never a sweet little hug. He'll get you.
He don't play.
Somebody, I don't know if they tried to sue or they just complained to the right people. He doesn't do that. Oh yeah, the dad at the end of part 7. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So anyway, Jason Takes Manhattan, 1989. This is the most misleading subtitle of a movie ever. This is probably the peak of like pop culture Jason Voorhees phenomena.
Reminds me more of like a Freddy film.
Yeah, definitely. It's very tongue in cheek. Which is weird because Jason can't talk. Or he doesn't. I mean, he kind of goes, he's in Manhattan for maybe 5 minutes.
Yes.
They shot one scene in the middle of what is it? Times Square.
Yeah.
There's punks there. My favorite part of this whole movie, the punks sitting there listening to the radio. Jason kicks the shit out of the boombox and walks on by. And like, hey man, you asshole. And he turns around and pulls his mask up and they see what's under the mask, which you guys can see right there too. This the best way to describe it is some deformed Muppet.
It's interesting, whatever that's supposed to be.
It's very interesting. And I actually, to be real with you for a second, I love the look of Jason in this movie. Like, actually, that's a high point for me. The new hockey mask, because at the end of 7, that mask
splits,
and the crime scene investigators or whatever pick up the pieces of the mask and take it away. So that's gone. This is a new mask.
Yeah, it's a new mask because there's a random couple on the lake that somehow turns into like an outlet to get into the ocean to take a senior class cruise that I guess you had in 89. They're on their like little yacht or whatever, and the boyfriend scares the girlfriend with the Jason mask and like a harpoon or something like that, right?
Yeah. The boyfriend does, again, don't scare your significant other. That's real stupid. Don't do it.
Is going to lead into Jason versus TMNT.
One interesting thing. So we got that kind of refurbished poster up there on the screen there. The original poster for this movie was going to say "I love New York" with Jason slashing through it, but that "I heart NY" is copyright. It's not just some do whatever you want with this design. So they had to quit using that as a marketing material for this movie.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I love it. I would love to find an original because some of those posters did circulate.
That'd be a cool one.
Yeah. Most of the movie takes place on that boat. There's a very strange scene between a girl drawing body parts on herself, like drawing the human anatomy on herself and trying to seduce. Is it the principal or?
I think it was the principal, but for some reason she's turning in her senior project for a class that already graduated. And that's their big finale was going on. It's very, very strange. It's a strange film.
It is strange.
It makes the least amount of sense.
Kelly Who is in this film though?
Yes, she is.
What would you say she's most famous for?
Dying in this? I don't.
Well,
Like like
She's
her
in
actual.
X-Men,
Yeah,
Lady Deathstrike. She's in Scorpion King.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's recognizable. Favorite kill.
Okay, so you said there was nobody that like really gave Jason a fight until part 7. The dude on the roof boxing him is what I wanted to get to. That was the best fight. It's so dumb because Jason just stands there getting punch after punch after punch till he's backed up to the edge, and then that guy's just so tired that Jason just kills him. But I'd say that that one just because it's so goofy, or the guitar kill.
Oh God,
down
the
in the
girl
lower
shooting
decks.
the music video.
She's like, listen to the sound down here.
And okay, so ironically about that, so Ken Kersinger that plays Jason in Freddy versus Jason, he doubles Kane in this movie. I think he's the one that kills the girl with the guitar. He's in that scene to some degree.
Really?
Yeah, he is in this movie. Jason just straight up covered in KY jelly for the whole movie. And we get another girl who had memories of Jason.
Yeah, she had that weird Jason flashback in the mirror of the bathroom where he it's like the whole trippy, almost like Willy Wonka type scene, right? Where he's like talking to her through the mirror.
Well, at the very end, doesn't baby Jason come out of a giant Jason head spewing toxic vomit? Isn't there like a giant Jason head that looks like pukes up little like kind of hydrocephalic baby Jason? This movie's shitty. It's not good. This is for me, this is a low point. I thought that the remake would be the low point, but no, this upon further inspection is unfortunately the low point.
Yeah. And before we just leave 19 kills.
Quick story.
All right.
So this movie came out, I think, around the same time as Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or Blew Up the Kids. One of those kid honey movies. Friend's mom took us to the theater, and like the parents went to the bathroom after the movie, and we were like, "Man, what are we doing? We're just standing here." And we're little, man. Like, so I was born in 81, so I was like 8 years old. We look over and see that Jason Takes Manhattan is playing in the theater. We just walk in the door. And what do I walk into? I see that dude's head getting knocked off on the roof. The dumpster. So my two earliest Jason memories are that, and then turning on USA and seeing Ma from part 5. He hit me, Ma, and getting his head popped off on the motorcycle.
A lot of head pops.
Oh yeah, very nice. All right, moving on. Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. So this is when New Line picked up the rights to Jason.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't call it Friday the 13th for some reason, but they picked up the rights to the Jason character somehow. So we've got Freddy and we've got Jason under the same roof finally.
Yeah.
This movie, they kill Jason. Like, they blow him up.
Quite the intro to a movie.
Amazing intro. And cool music, too. Anyway, so they blow him up. That's a bad impersonation of that music. Oh, yeah. Kid Jason pulling around. That's another weird... There's a couple moments in the series where there's these weird flashbacks of people that have run into Jason and not died at some point. There's like in part 3, there's some kind of hint that Jason maybe sexually assaulted Chris, which is strange. And then there's Jason trying to drown Remy, I think is her name in part 8. Anyway, on to Jason Goes to Hell. This one of the bar none coolest looks for Jason. I think that hockey mask rotted into his flesh thing is so cool. It makes no damn sense, but it's cool. Does the wrestler name, Malcolm says, so does the wrestler Kane get his name from the Jason actor? I don't think so, man. I don't know where wrestlers get their name from. I think they just get them from Vince McMahon. I don't think it has anything to do with Kane Hodder.
Matt might know. I don't know.
He might, yeah. Oh, yeah, Matt's got the horror and the wrestling. So yeah, Jason is literally blown up. There's like carpet bombed, just thrown grenades at. I mean, every freaking weapon in the history of man is shot at him, and his body explodes.
It's funny too because not only are they shooting him, they're shooting him in a circle. So
Yeah. They would be killing each other and him real quick.
But they get out of it with no casualties, so good for them.
Basically, they take the body parts back to a morgue. The mortician, of course, eats the heart and becomes Jason.
Yeah, because all morticians in horror movies are eating something constantly.
That's true. That is a trope of horror films. Hell, in part 4, in the dude eating a sandwich or something, he lays it down on top of.
It puts it on Jason. Yeah.
So basically, in this movie, Jason is possessing different bodies of people and trying to get to this sister we never knew of, who is played by Erin Gray, who was most famously in what, Buck Rogers?
I think, yeah.
Yeah. So the whole point is the plot's a little convoluted here, guys. This is a fun movie though, because it does wink and nod at the Friday the 13th tropes that are pretty cool. Jason has to find his sister, and this demon lizard looking thing has to go into her body and be reborn as the physical Jason again.
Yeah, and it has to be through a living Voorhees member. So it's her and the baby, because she just had a baby. And she works at a diner with some crazy people with guns.
Well, the sister's daughter had a baby, right? Like the sister didn't have a baby.
Well, somebody had a baby, and I thought it was a Voorhees, right?
Yeah, like his niece had a baby.
All right, well, whatever. Someone had a baby.
But also a fun casting thing. Leslie Jordan is in this movie. He works as a burger flipper in the local diner. And if you don't know who Leslie Jordan is, just Google him. He's a most famously for me, he was in like The Help and Designing Women.
Never seen either of them.
May come as a shock that I've watched those things, whatever. But he's from this area, and he spoke at my sister's theater graduation.
Oh, really?
He is a delightful human being. Look him up on Google at some point. Leslie Jordan. He's just a southern ball of wonder.
The one character that sticks out to me in this one is Creighton Duke.
Oh yeah, Creighton Duke. He knows everything about Jason somehow.
Yeah, he knows it all. He knows how to stop him.
Too, yeah.
But yeah, Stephen Williams plays him, and Stephen Williams for me was most memorable from being Mr. X in the X-Files.
Yeah,
so there you go.
Good callback, dude. I think the most famous thing about this movie is the very end.
Yeah, I'd say so.
People kept telling me more and more about this movie, how great it was, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah. You know what Matt said, too. There is the part in the house with the Necronomicon and the blade from Evil Dead.
That's true. I personally, for me, I don't like that.
No?
I don't want them to tie. No, hell no. I don't want them all tied together. But this movie is also a weird one-off, right? Like this, it's like in comic books, we've got those like Elseworld stories.
Yeah.
Universes, micro universes stuff. I just kind of look at this as, yeah, this is kind of just an offbeat, wacky story. But the very end is basically Jason. You guys see in the frame there, Jason's being pulled down into the ground by demons that kind of look like root vegetables. And then once the hockey mask is sitting there on the soil, you see a Freddy glove come up and pull the mask down. Yep. Freddy glove worn by Kane Hodder, but still, since they were both in the same house, you started this Freddy versus Jason thing back in '93.
Yeah, the seeds were planted.
The seeds were planted. They did not hatch for a long ass time. That's probably not the right terminology for seeds. I think they germinate or some shit.
Had to go to space before it had to happen.
Also, Kane plays a security guard in this movie with no makeup on. And he calls Jason a big pussy, which is hilarious.
Yeah. On the last watch, seeing him, I just brought a smile to my face. I was like, "Hey, there he is."
He's not nothing but a big old pussy. Then he's dead. There's my kill. It's off screen, but Kane gets killed by Jason, who's in another dude's body.
Yeah,
That's my favorite kill from this one.
I'll go with that one too. Total of 23 on this one. So there's a lot.
Nice. That's including Jason both times.
Yeah, it's all the bodies he inhabits, and because they melt or whatever when he leaves, right? They do like that weird melty thing.
Something like that. This one's I put this one like in the fun to watch category, like part 5.
Yeah,
it's got. Oh no, I'll give you. There's one other kill I actually like better than that. There's a girl and a dude having sex in a tent, and Jason gets this, I don't know, street sign post or something, and just cranks it through her and cuts her in half. It's brutal, man. That's a great kill. London 1888 made a t-shirt of that kill. I was like, I would never wear that in public, but kudos to you, sir. Moving on. Guys, Jason went to space, and it's a fun-ass movie. What do you think of Jason X, man? This movie,
it's very strange. Another very strange entry to the series, but we're 21 years into the franchise at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts out, like I said, it's and you said the Chia Pet hair. You could kind of see it in the picture there.
Very strange peach fuzz hair growing out of his head.
Yeah. But he's essentially chained up at the beginning. They have him almost kept for research. They didn't know what they're going to do with him, so they're basically going to cryogenically freeze him.
Do you remember who he kills at the very beginning?
Gosh, no.
David Cronenberg.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah, he does.
You can win bar trivia with that. Keep that tucked.
Yeah, he kills him. Then the lady picks up the shotgun and kind of fights him, but they both fall into. She gets him into the cryo chamber somehow, but there's a leak because he tries to punch his way out and get her, and it freezes that room. And we're forwarded hundreds of years. 200 years, 300, 400 years, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. We're in space.
Yeah, and a crew goes and finds them. They're like, "Wow, we found 2 specimens." But yeah, kind of goofy there. And then that's where the fun starts. Just a lot of the nanotechnology that repairs that guy's arm or hand or whatever got cut off. The gel that they seal his arm with. There's a lot of cool stuff in it. If you like sci-fi stuff, this is the movie for you.
It's just it's so much fun, dude. It sounds like such a stupid premise. What did we have going to space? We had Jason X. We had Hellraiser Bloodline, which takes place in space.
Leprechaun.
Somewhat. Yeah, Leprechaun in space. Fun ass movie. Very fun movie.
Yeah.
So it just seemed like, okay, we're just going to take all these slashers and put them in space. It's Halloween in space. It didn't happen, but whatever.
I'm glad that one didn't, but
this one kind of makes, I don't know, man. Something about this movie is just so much fun. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I got for my best kill in this one, dude. The lady with the frozen head. He sticks this lady's face down in dry ice or cryo liquid or whatever, and her face just turns into ice. And he just smashes her head down, and you got blood crystals everywhere. It looks amazing.
It's really cool. It's a really cool kill.
What will your hair look like after 900 years of being cryogenically frozen? Probably just a lump of glued down pubes, like Jason. What about you, man? What's your favorite kill in this one?
That one for sure. Can't beat it. 23 kills again with this one, and it was directed by James Isaac.
I'm not familiar with anything else he did, but this one, it's a lot of fun, man.
The franchise had been gone for 8 years, so just having another Jason out there, and he turns into the picture on the right, Uber Jason, because he merges with the nano. They kill him again, and he merges with the nano technology. They basically save him and bring him back to life for no other reason. Oh, and his machete. It's like a super machete too.
Yeah.
I always thought that was kind of
It's
funny.
upgraded, but I don't know, man. It's a fun movie. Highly recommend this one.
Yep.
Up next, this is a personal favorite of mine. I was telling Jeff before we started, there are actually people that don't like Freddy versus Jason. I am not one of those people. I saw it in the theater. I bought it on DVD the second it came out. I sat there wearing a Freddy glove and a Jason hockey mask, watching it the first time at my house. This is a fun movie.
Yeah, it really is. Like, and it was something that people had been wanting and asking for so long, and for them to finally make it is awesome. And I mean, just, you know, all the hoops you would have to jump through to bring two of the biggest horror franchises together like that. Like, so,
Yeah.
you know, some people complain, say it's kind of like it's lame or, you know, boring or whatever, but to have those two things together, I think, is an achievement in itself and just fun, because it's the two titans. Like, you can't beat it.
Yeah, dude. So we had Kane Hodder in the last 4 Friday movies. Kane Hodder's not Jason in this one, much to his chagrin. He got very unhappy about that. This one's directed by Ronnie Yu, that also directed Bride of Chucky, which is also a really fun movie. He wanted a Jason that was taller. Kane's not super tall. So enter Ken Kersinger, who is insanely tall. I got a picture taken next to him, and he's a good foot taller than me. I'm 5'9". That's a tall dude.
He's a big guy.
Robert Englund came back to play Freddy. Basically, Freddy's like using Jason to spread fear, because Freddy can't exist without fear.
The memory of him, yeah.
Yeah, so he goes to hell and gets Jason. So I guess Jason goes to hell maybe happened. I don't. Who cares about continuity at this point? He gets Jason back. He basically goes into Jason's dreams. I guess you dream when you're dead. I don't know, man. And makes Jason go to Elm Street and kill people. And then they're like, oh God, it's Freddy. And so then Freddy can come back.
Yeah. You know, because Crystal Lake and Elm Street, right down the street from each other.
I think it seems like they're geographically pretty close.
Yeah. You know, just like we were saying earlier, there's a lot of, I wouldn't say cool kills there. It's a mix, because it's Freddy kills and then it's Jason kills. Then there's a fake Jason Mewes in it.
Freeberg or whatever his name.
Yeah. The one kill I think of, is it the stab through the like futon or whatever and kind of like folded up?
Oh yeah, he folds the guy up on the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That one's mine, with the 20 kills, including, spoiler, Freddy, because Jason technically kills him at the end.
John said Jason Ritter. Jason Ritter is in this. Jason Ritter is very likable. He's awesome in this movie. I'm going to say my favorite kill was Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child.
Yeah, she kind of deserved it the most.
Just being an absolute pain in the ass, and then Jason just whoops her ass, just destroys her.
Yeah, like punches her across like what, 40 feet?
There's a lot of action in this movie. I mean, there's wire stunts in this movie, guys. It's a lot of fun. The showdown between Freddy and Jason when they actually start fighting is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, you get a cool Jason like in the real world and Freddy fight, and you get like a dream world fight between them too. So, I mean, you get the best of both worlds for what they had.
Yeah, that's the thing. I thought it really encompassed like a little bit of the nightmare and a little bit of the Friday the 13th, like enough to make me really happy. I don't know what people were expecting.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you don't like it, that's okay. Man, I loved it.
Yeah. And with that one, it pretty much wrapped up the franchise until they rebooted it.
In 2009, they did a reboot. started off real strong, guys. They started off with basically recapping, like, oh yeah, Catherine Isabel is also in Freddy vs. Jason. She's wonderful.
Yeah.
That started my crush on her. Because I hadn't seen any like Ginger Snaps or any of her other movies up until that point, and yeah, big crush. So Friday the 13th in 2009, we got Marcus Nispel, who is probably most famous for directing the Texas Chainsaw reboot. He tried his hand at this. This was during the Platinum Dunes, Michael Bay, I'm going to reboot every horror franchise era.
I'm on the fence with them, but I'm also not one of those guys that hates every remake. I know remakes can exist with the real thing.
Oh, I think the Texas Chainsaw remake is brilliant.
I like that one. Hills Have Eyes.
Fantastic.
This one is, so-so. But
I think so. Derek Mears plays Jason in this one. You guys probably recognize him. He's done a lot of stunt work. He plays Swamp Thing in that latest Swamp Thing series they did that got canceled very quickly for whatever reason. And he's just like an all-around great human being. But he's good as Jason. Jason is running his ass off in this movie. He's
got the underground tunnels.
Yeah. Apparently he might grow weed. But the opening to this movie basically goes through Friday the 13th part 1. Then you get 2 in like kind of maybe a 10-minute clip.
Yeah.
That's the middle picture where he has kind of the sack head.
Yeah.
And then you go into 3 when he finds the hockey mask. The problem with this movie is all the normal people suck.
Yeah.
They're either like so unlikable it's not even funny, or they're like, dead fish kind of.
Yeah, they're pretty unlikable overall.
I do want to mention, because Eric brought this up earlier, I don't even know if he's still on watching us, but there's a character named Trent in this movie, and he is just the worst. Trent and the girl from part 7 with the pearl necklace are the worst human beings in any Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah.
He's just the biggest dick in this movie, and there's a very awkward sex scene where he's just like, "Your boobs, dude." He says this weird stuff. Weird scene, bro. The kills in this are pretty good, though.
Yeah, and there was a total of 14 in this one. And for me, the most memorable one, well, there's kind of a lot, but the machete through the dock into the girl's head
that
always sticks out for me.
Willa Ford, she's a singer.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. She was also, I don't know if she's married to or she was dating Chuck Liddell, the Iceman, Chuck Liddell, the MMA fighter.
Yeah, but I mean, if you've seen all the Friday films, this kind of, pays a little homage to them. It wraps up nice, and it's kind of a more modern take on it. But because I think, we're just about done with time on this. So
yeah,
but
yeah, that's me. I mean, that's it for the movies. If anybody has any other questions, we got a couple minutes left, but I think we're pretty much done with the content from the movies.
Yeah. So any questions from you guys?
Well, I'm going to jump back in here. Man, I appreciate it. I learned a lot about Jason. I've been, doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but y'all have been in my ear all night. So, it was very informative, a great little time. I want to thank you for, wanting to take 2 hours on. And like I said, Corey, I can actually download the audio for this, and I will get it to you. And maybe I think you said you may release it as a Patreon special.
Yeah,
so,
that's what I was thinking.
So people that are listening on Spooky Dudes podcast right now, this could be a Patreon. So All right. I'm rolling up towards the top of the hour. Thank you, gentlemen. It's been very informative.
Thanks for letting us do
Thank
it.
you.
Hey, just think. We only have 39 more hours to go.
Oh my. When you put it that way, oh my God.
Yeah, we've knocked out the first 9 hours.
I'm glad to be a part of it.
You're muted, John.
I had a problem when I was overseas a lot that it never failed. I would always miss the Friday the 13th movies because they would come out while I was overseas. And then by the time I got back, they were already gone.
And
So,
now we can get another one until, people get their heads out of their asses. So who knows when that'll happen.
But like 2009, we had just gotten back from Iraq, and it's like,
Jeez.
I mean, it's like, oh, missed that one too. But I was glad to sit through this and see all the different things about all the different movies, even with there were spoilers. But but now I know what to look for. So,
It's fun, man. They're worth
It
hunting down in whatever format you like.
drive-in movie theater.
Well, drive-in movie theaters have been making a comeback.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I don't think Walmart would show this on the side of the Walmart building.
No.
No, that's
Yeah, they did that at the Walmart up in Cleveland. The ticket sold out in 2 minutes.
For what
Okay.
movie?
Some family movie.
yeah, probably Frozen or something.
Hocus Pocus or something, maybe?
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to have to throw this over and set the movies up. Well, let me go ahead and do the share screen real quick because StreamYard does not want to, when you hit it, it actually, when you can share screen and it don't pop up. I share screen and everybody gets to see it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's odd.
Boom.
All right. There we go.
Yeah. So we're dedicating, as you know, HallowCon to, you know who Nova is. Or you remember Nova?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
No, unfortunately, I'm not sure. Oh.
Yeah, she was always in costume, African American girl, always in costume, hung out with a guy they called Dylan.
You probably would have seen her at that Liberty Con. I think it was.
I've never made it to a Liberty Con.
Chattacon.
Yeah, I've been to a bunch of Chattacon.
There was that one. I want to say it was at the Chattanooga. I think you did a vitamin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
You were there doing some podcast, and I was moving chairs around, and I think she was there for the podcast.
Michael
okay.
is always wearing
Okay, I think I remember now. Yeah.
goat shoes. Michael has goat shoes and has a little goat mermaid puppet that he always walks around with. Oh, all right. Oh well.
Too many of these things, man.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. If y'all want to go ahead and leave studio, you can. I'm fixing to hit the big movie in a minute, and we'll see everybody. Live programming will resume at 10 a.m. So, and Corey, it's your movie coming up. So if you want to keep watching, it's The Phantom of the Opera, the Lon Chaney silent Phantom of the Opera.
Can't beat it. Such a good film.
All right.
Thanks again.
Thanks.
Thank you. And
Thanks, guys.
good night.
See you
Good
later.
night.